Well, I'm live, or what they call live, anyhow. I will be here for a little while. Um, the last story I talked about on the regular video was that Obama was joking around saying that maybe he should run too if Trump can run for a third term. Now, my opinion of that family is very high, by the way, but I believe that they've had enough of the bullshit. You know, uh, they don't want any more of it now. And I can understand why. I don't know whether the rest of you can, but I can. Oh, all right. What are you doing? You all right? Lucy's good. Ow. Oh, wow. That should wake up a few people. Lucy's here, happy. Had a long walk this morning. We got out of the house early because my wife had to go to the doctor today. So the thing about my wife going to the doctor is they keep running tests on her. There's no what am I trying to think of? There's no treatment plan in effect yet, and I think that's something that they need to do right pretty damn quick, and hopefully they will, but you never know. Doctors down here operate different on a different level, because every phase of medicine down here has you don't have a general practitioner, you see a specialist. Now I don't know whether that's the same up there now. It's been 20 years since I've been to a doctor in America, and my doctor was a general practitioner unless there was something very seriously wrong with me. So, and I hadn't had anything really serious wrong with me for a long time. Lucy's got that look. She's waiting for her mommy to come home. She likes, whether she wants to admit it and Ruby wants to admit it, she likes Ruby. And I don't know whether Ruby's getting to like her or not. She laughs at her every once in a while. She thinks she's cute. But that's, of course, when somebody else is in the apartment. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, uh, Obama's considering possibility that if Trump runs, then he should run too. And I don't think that's a great idea. Because that would be very, very ugly. That would be a racial issue. Because Trump's a white supremacist, and if you haven't figured that out, look at Trump's history with Obama. Okay, he's hated Obama since before Trump was president. Okay, when Obama was president, he hated him, and it's not. I don't think it's because of he was a Democrat. I think it was because for a short period of time he was a Democrat, and I think he left the Democratic Party because they were considering Obama, or other black candidates, and that's why he left, because he's a racist. And what that says is that he considers the Republican Party to be racist, a white supremacist party. And that kind of election is going to get violent, I don't want to see violence in the election. I want to see people being able to genuinely just get rid of that prick, Just time to go, Donnie, go, That's it. Nobody wants you around anymore. Nobody cares what you do, and he's got that many years left in him. He's like me, He's got. I think he might. Well, they say only the good die young. I don't know whether that means I got a shot at beating him or what, But we'll see. There's a whole lot of people around that say, they want to see him dead just so they can go piss on his grave, And I don't want to do that, man. That requires me going to New York or Washington or wherever they bury that son of a bitch. They should cremate him and dump his ashes in a volcano someplace, because that's where he's going to end up anyhow. You know, I don't know what they're planning on that. But what can I tell you? All right, the new protest that's going on. What we should really be protesting, and I don't think we can do this totally peaceably, but hopefully we can, is start getting either legislation or whatever we have to do to start unmasking ICE agents, or getting their names, the names and photographs of them without the mask on out there. And that'll help stop some of the stuff that's going on, because so long as they have an anonymity, they're going to keep. Wow, hold on a second. They're going to keep committing atrocities against the civilian population of America, and that's just that was scary there for a second. And they are going to keep doing that no matter what, because they can't have their houses stoned. They can walk down, take off their masks and their uniforms, sneak out of wherever they are, and go out to dinner like normal human beings. And that will stop the minute they unmask themselves. All right. They won't be able to go any place with their masks on or off. They can't they'll never be able to take their mask off again, because people will be tracking them. People track them now, but I don't know how they don't find out where they live and everything like that, and their identities. But that's what they're trying to do. But it gets pretty tough to do, because that's why they bring them in from other cities and other parts of the country, so that you can't track them to their home base. They disappear on charter planes and whatnot and unmask themselves, and you don't know who's who when they get off the plane, or whatever they're doing, how they get on and off the planes. It's not that easy. But one has to do what one has to do. Here we go. And I don't know whether that's going to how that's going to work out for people, but damn it, it's the only thing you can do. I think that's the only solution really, is to unmask them. I mean, so long as they're masked, they can pretty much do whatever they want, because we don't know who they are. We can't even swear out a warrant a complaint against them, because we don't know who they are. So you swear out a warrant at agents that were there on such and such a day, and they say, well, we can't locate that person, or that person that who you need a name to go with that, and you just can't say, uh, you know, and it's legal to say that, to prevent anything from happening to these people, because they wear a mask, you know. So the mask should be made. Well, the mask doesn't. Whether you make the mask illegal or not in the future, the trick is to start getting them out of the mask now. That's where you. Hey Jim, how are you? That's how you get to succeed with this deal. You get them out of that mask off of them, and then we can go about and prosecute them, or go to their house and shit on their front lawn, set fire to their house, whatever you want to do. But once they start feeling the pressure against their families, their livelihoods, their where they live and everything like that, they'll calm down a little bit. They won't want to do what they're doing, because life is that kind of reality is tough. When you start banging on their door at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, "Yo, you scumbag, come on out here," that upsets people. I know it happens to me all the time. People banging on my door. What are you doing? Come on out, man. Yeah, but they want to come out and party, but it's different. I don't party anymore, folks. Sorry. Well, except for this Sunday coming up. my annual Super Bowl party. It doesn't get big, trust me. There's close friend and my relatives, and this year, again, we could be down to two people. The last party I had was two people, and if this is two people, yeah, you want to come over and watch the game, fine, but I'm not gonna do any party about it. I do stuff. I make recipes up, sandwiches, things, different sandwiches and stuff like that. I don't know whether I'm going to do that this year because I have to know how many people are going to be there. And at the present time, I could have anything from one to six. So six is in my apartment is crowded. Okay, the apartment I had in America, no, I had 75 people in that house. So we had plenty of room and chairs and everything like that. So, but anyhow, I digress. As usual, I don't know that there's much to talk about. Springsteen's got that song out, uh, and it's pretty good. Um, I don't know how it sounds now after he's performed it a few times. Maybe he's got it down. Maybe it'll sound even better. But I'm surprised he didn't show up at the Grammys to sing it. I think that would have been maybe too much for him. I don't know. Too much for the Grammys. Because everybody up there, Bad Bunny and all the rest, were all bitching and moaning about Trump and all that. Oh, the story I went on from the other side uh, was that Jimmy Kimmel is saying that the reason that Trump's shutting down the Kennedy Center for 2 years starting in July is because he's bankrupted it. And then when they finally get around to when it should open, it's going to be somebody else's problem, and he's not going to get the blame for anything. You know, I don't know if that's true or not. You know, he doesn't want the Kennedy Center open for 2 years. Well, that's okay. He wanted it to be the boss. I don't understand why he's shutting it down. It's because he wants to put all that gold stuff up so in his name everywhere. He wants to be able to have his seat look like a throne, all that bullshit. In any kind of luck, he won't be around much longer. I think now that some of the Republicans are getting upset with his tactics because it's costing them votes, and it's also in some instances it's costing them money. Now, if you can get politicians start losing money on investments in their businesses that they're on the side, their family owns and stuff like that, then you start to see some changes. That's why I was saying, if you unmask the ICE agents and their relatives start getting persecuted, and their relatives' businesses and everybody's side businesses and whatnot starts to suffer, then you might see some changes in their attitude, or they might not want the job anymore. You know, I mean, that job's got a pretty good pay scale, and from what I can tell, and a really, nice benefit plan and everything like that. Till you get shot up, then they just dump you on the side of the road someplace. Just the garbage. You're no use to them. I don't know whether they're going to have a pension older for their older agents or not. You never know with Trump. He doesn't care about old people. All right, listen up. Seriously now. It's a new year. It's February already. I'd like to see some action on the subscription side of this deal. And I know some of you do, and some of you don't, and that's okay with me. You don't want to talk to other people about me. That's all right. I understand that. Some of you have subscribed more than once, to get me there, and that's fine too. Uh, I don't want you to do that though. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know it's not costing you any money, and I'm not making any money yet. So uh, we'll wait and see on that. Again, beginning to consider podcasting, but I just don't think I have the stamina to do that because that requires me to uh, be there at least once a week and on time. And I don't know how much it's going to cost me because I can't trust the internet down here. We had, I wasn't here yesterday, and I went shopping yesterday. I didn't get the day off that I wanted. It's just a really most of the day sat around waiting. But that's not the point. We had a lot of internet problems. We lost the internet. Um, the internet, primarily, the internet was the first to go and the longest the one that was out. So I don't know what happened because it's never gone that way. That's a technical problem. That's not a physical problem when the internet goes. Okay, because you share cables and you share poles and everything else. So when the just the internet goes at first, and then we lost Wi-Fi, and we lost everything else. Finally, telephones went out. Don't know. Usually, it's an accident that causes that because it wasn't raining at the time, so you can't blame it on the flood unless they were doing a repair job and a flood is area. Anyhow, go find that subscribe button, pound it. All right. Go tell your friends, your enemies. Go tell strangers on the street. All right. I do that. I tell people I meet on the street, oh, yeah, you should check me out on the internet. I'm there. Yeah. A little bit of this, a little bit of that on YouTube. All right. That's it for me today. I will see you tomorrow. Have a great one.